Every moment is a new moment. And if you use quantum physics, you can easily stop smoking now. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what to do step by step to create this in your life so that from now on, you never feel like smoking again. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now, this video, I'm gonna be sharing an idea with you that will make smoking cigarettes, or if you wanted to stop smoking weed or just smoking in general. And honestly, what I share with you in this video, when we infuse quantum physics into this, can also be used for losing weight. It can be used for any bad habit that you may have or something that you are at the point now to where like, okay, maybe this is something I should somehow change. And this is something that when I learned and I began to apply in my life, I also used it for personal development, to become the best version of myself, to create the kind of abundance and freedom that I have in my life. I've used this form of quantum physics before. So I want to share with you exactly what that is in this video. And first off, let me say, anytime somebody wants to stop smoking, the problem with why it is so hard to stop smoking is because the smoking person considers themselves a smoker. And one of the strongest human desires there is to remain consistent to the way that we define ourselves. So when it comes to stop smoking now, someone may say, well, yes, I want to stop smoking. And then as they start the process, they find that they feel frustrated with themselves, they feel stuck, they feel like they're being not in integrity to themselves because they keep slipping back. But the problem is the sense of identity, the image in their mind of who they are is a smoker. So a smoker trying not to smoke seems inauthentic. A smoker trying not to smoke is doing something that is not natural. And the key to this is switching that around, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. Now, let me share with you that this is what I used in my own life. I used to smoke weed every single day for about a year and a half. Now, I know weed is legal in a lot of places. It's not necessarily a bad thing. For me, I realized though that I was doing it in a way to kind of escape some of the emotional stuff that I went through when I was younger. I wasn't necessarily completely happy with myself, and I think the purpose behind me doing it was more so to numb myself than it was for any positive type thing. And it was becoming a little bit out of hand. It was becoming a little bit out of balance. I was smoking every single day to eat and sleep were the main reasons I was doing it, because in the daytime I was taking something called Adderall, and it was a good balance, because Adderall side effects are you don't eat very much, you don't sleep very much. Well, what's the side effects of weed? It's easy to sleep and it's easy to eat. So at work, my sales job, I would do the Adderall, which would help me focus. And then at the end of that, what I would do is at the end of the day, I would smoke and be able to eat and sleep. So that's something I did for a long period of time. Now the problem is that as I was trying to quit, I kept thinking of myself and remembering all the positive associations I had when I was smoking, because I used to love smoking with friends. I used to play basketball. I used to have a lot of associations with it. And it was, in a way, hard for me to let that go. You know, I also started to go through what's called a spiritual awakening during that time. And that's when I learned meditation. And in a way, I think I associated it with that. So part of me letting go of smoking weed was me making the choice, but then not seeing myself as a smoker anymore. I had to completely get rid of that image in my mind. And as I started to see myself as not a smoker, I started to then not connect to it as much anymore. And that simply has to do with the self-image that we have in our minds about who we are. Now, I've shared this with many other people who did have trouble either stopping smoking or losing weight. And once I shared this, it changed everything. People that would be trying for months, they'd say, oh, I stopped quitting smoking like 5 times so far. Obviously it didn't work. Well, what's different is that then they changed their past by changing their identity. See, this is what quantum physics shows us. Quantum physics shows us that all realities exist right now. So there's a reality that exists right now where you are not smoking weed. There's a reality that exists, or cigarettes. There is a reality that exists where you stopped smoking cigarettes a long time ago. There's a reality where you never did smoke cigarettes. All quantum possibilities exist right now in the present moment. Now here is the key. Every moment's a new moment. What they show as well, even just looking at the biology of our body, is every so many months, our whole entire body, all of the cells in it, every single part of it is died and reborn. It is constantly regenerating new cells, a new cellular structure, new neurons, new way of wiring itself. This is something that science has shown. So every so many months, we're a completely new person. Now, every moment's a new moment. Now, the thing is this, we just keep creating ourselves to be the same person over and over again. So what happens is we say, I am a smoker, 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 and that's the identity, so we keep recreating that over and over again. But at any moment, we can make a choice. And think about it. Anytime somebody makes a transformation or a change, it's one choice. It happens in one moment. It may take a whole bunch of little things to get to that moment to say never again, but it's just one moment that it happens. It happens extraordinarily fast. It's just, what will it take to get to that moment? For me, it took me really becoming aware. I knew for about 2 weeks that I was going to quit. I just had this feeling I was going to quit. I started to read more things online that I used to, because when I was kind of in denial that there was any reason for me to stop. I was like, well, I enjoy doing it. It's not bad. It's all this stuff. And then I wouldn't even look at an article that came up that talked about anything bad about it. But then eventually I was looking at more and more, just kind of interesting as to what it could do and what the benefits of stopping smoking could be. And I just started entertaining that more and more. And then eventually, actually, what happened is I had a friend that I ended up buying a piece to do it with, a piece like this glass piece, and I knew I necessarily shouldn't have done it. And I got it, I took one hit out of it, and then I immediately just started crying because I knew that was the last hit I was gonna take. And I felt all these emotions come up. I felt these emotions of how I made an ex-girlfriend feel in the past, how I made other people feel in the past, because I would do it sometimes with a guilty conscience because I had an ex-girlfriend that didn't like that I did it. So I felt all these emotions come up and then me release them. And then I felt so light. And from that point going forward, I just made a choice, never again. It happened that fast. But now that I know the quantum physics of it, and I've helped many other people stop this process, this is what I tell you makes the difference. It's realizing that every moment is a new moment, and that as you change in the present moment, you also change the past connections that you have. So that's the thing that trips us up, is we believe that we have one set past. I'm a smoker right now, and this is my past. This is what led me to smoking like 4 years ago, and this is me. As we change in the present moment, what quantum physics shows us as well is we also change our past. And even when we remember memories from the past, what neuroscience shows is what we do is we take that past memory out, we look at it, we change it a little bit, and then we put it back into the memory bank. And then it's a completely different memory. By the time you've remembered something 10, 15, 100 times, it's a completely different memory because our story and our interpretation is laid over it. So the key is knowing that as you change in the present moment right now, you are also connecting to different probable pasts. Now, what you can begin to do is to realize that when it comes to you being a smoker and quitting smoking, you can realize that you never did smoke. You can change the probable momentum timelines that are leading you up to this point of stopping smoking. You can realize you never did smoke. You can let go of the past and live in the present moment right now and realize you are not a smoker and you never did smoke. Otherwise, there's a story you tell yourself that you were a smoker for 8 years and it's so hard to quit and your friends all do it and it's so tempting. That's all a story that you tell yourself. That was a story I told myself about weed. I had a whole bunch of friends it was something I enjoyed, it was all this stuff. But I realized at a certain point that I had to make the choice and that I could see myself in this new way. Think of it like this as well. When somebody is trying to lose weight, what is the problem with losing weight? It is implying an identity that naturally has the weight that needs to lose it. What happens when you lose something? When you lose your keys, what happens? You try to find them because you need your keys. If you're trying to lose weight, what you might be doing is you might be then trying to find it. So you'll lose it for a period of time with going on a diet, which isn't a lifestyle change or an identity change. A diet is just something you do for a period of time. Do you see how powerful identity is? In order to really lose weight, the idea is to see yourself as somebody that is healthy. To know that it is a must for you to eat a certain way. That it is a must, and realize that your taste buds will change, but every moment you're a new person. Now, here's the thing. The moment you start the process is the moment that is who you are. You can decide, this is who I am now. When I became a full-time YouTuber, I was working a 9-to-5 job I didn't like. I just decided I'm gonna make videos every single day for the next year or however long, and eventually my life will transform. I just knew it. And the moment I started is the moment I gave myself permission to be that YouTuber, to tap into that creativity. And guess what happened? Within a couple months, I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job back in 2017. I've made videos every day ever since. And I'm able to really live life on my terms now. Because I decided and gave myself permission that this is who I am now. So the moment you start eating healthy, you could say, I am healthy. You don't have to remind yourself, oh, in the past, I wasn't eating healthy. I've ate for 10 years this way. When you decide to stop smoking, you've stopped smoking. That's your identity now. And you don't have to tell yourself a story, well, I spent 8 years smoking, and you had to drag it into the present moment. No, once you start, you have now stopped, and now the probable past you connect to is the probable past where you never did smoke. You lose weight, you realize you are healthy now, and you may look at your body and say, well, obviously I'm not healthy. But the moment you start is the moment that's who you are now. Give yourself permission. When I started meditating after a couple days, I just decided this is who I am now. I am somebody that meditates. I'm this Zen, I can meditate now. And then I got rid of and detached that whole ADHD label from myself. And then that's when I eventually used that to detach the whole 9-to-5 job person. I worked a 9-to-5 job for like 8 years. Completely got rid of it, and now I've worked for myself for the last 3 or 4 years now. It's identity. It's identity and probable realities. Every moment's a new moment. You can choose to be the version of you that you want now, and as you do that, you'll find that that changes everything. Now, something else that I do have is a subconscious mind meditation that will help with this process, will help you to see yourself in this new way, help you to make this shift within yourself. It's absolutely free. It's in the top of the description box below. Other than that, hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace, much love, and namaste.